Hello and welcome to edupediaworld.com. Let's continue our chapter Electoral Politics. In previous video, we have seen the most common form of democracy in our times, which is for the people to govern by electing their representatives. We also knew how these representatives are elected, what are the process of voting, what are the process of result. We also understood the necessity of election in a democracy and also studied about the need of elections with the example of Haryana Assembly election. Now let's move forward to the next topic. The question arises, what makes an election democratic? Elections can be held in many ways. All democratic countries hold elections, but most non-democratic countries, they also hold some kind of elections in their country. But how we distinguish them? How we distinguish the democratic elections from the non-democratic elections? Let's study. We have already discussed these questions in the previous videos actually. We discussed many examples of the countries where elections are held, but they can't be really called democratic elections, as they are not for all. Means there are certain group of peoples are allowed to cast their vote, not each and every citizen of that country. Let's start with a simple list of the minimum conditions of democratic election from the next slide. First, everyone should be able to choose. This means that everyone should have one vote and every vote should have equal value. In brief, we can say that each and every citizen are supposed to cast their vote. They are supposed to choose their representative. They are free to choose their government. And there should not be any discrimination to vote on the basis of caste, gender, religion, or anything else. One vote, one person. This rule should be followed in a democratic country and which are being followed. Second, there should be something to choose from. Parties and candidates should be free to contest elections and should offer some real choice to the voters. Whenever we see an election or anything else where we are supposed to choose, we have the options. Even if we are solving the multiple choice questions answers, we have the choices of at least 4 answers and we choose from them. Same things happen in an election. When we are supposed to vote, we have the choice of various candidates, various parties, and we choose them on the basis of their work. Sometimes we choose a person and sometimes we choose the party. Third, the choice should be offered at regular intervals. Elections must be held regularly after every few years. What will happen if once we elected a person, once we elected a government, it rules for the time till it wants? It will not be like a democratic elections. It will be like a dictatorship. So they are supposed to work for the people, and to do this, the rule is that we have elections on a regular interval of time, so that the people, the citizen, have the choice to change the representative, to change the government if they are not satisfied with their work. If the government is not doing work in favor of the people, for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of the country, the citizens have the right to change them. And for that, we have the option of elections to be held regularly after few years. Fourth, the candidate preferred by the people should get elected. It will be good if the person who people, the citizens of that particular area wants to be elected, to get elected. Because they know that the person is going to serve them. The person is going to do for the betterment of their locality, for the betterment of their constituency. Fifth, elections should be conducted in a free and fair manner, where people can choose as they really wish. We have seen many examples, or we see many examples whenever there are elections in our country even, that people do cast bogus votes. Means they cast the votes on the name of other persons. People do cast vote for the, what we can say, for the sake of money. Candidates do give money to them just for their vote. At that time, they do anything they can do for getting elected, which is not fair. To make this fair, election commissions are doing many things. They have issued election ID, voter ID card, which is necessary to cast vote, because without ID card we are not supposed to cast our vote. But still, let's wait when there will be a free and fair elections. These might look like very simple and easy conditions, but there are many countries where these are not fulfilled. And now we will apply these conditions to the elections held in our own country to see if we can all these democratic election. Is it good to have political competition? We see that whenever there are competitions between group or between two, each one will work better to get that appreciation. Same things happen in the case of elections. When there are elections, political parties start competition. The whole scenario turns into a political competition, which takes various forms. At the constituency level, it takes the form of competition among several candidates. If there is no competition, elections will become pointless. Because just to get elected, the candidates start promising the citizens, and some do fulfill their promise after being elected. After getting elected, they do fulfill their promise, as we have seen in the case of Haryana election. But is it good to have political competition? Clearly, an electoral competition has many demerits. It creates a sense of disunity and factionalism in every locality. You would have heard of people complaining of party politics in your locality. Different political parties and leaders often level allegations against one another. This is very common thing, which we always listen, which we always read in our newspaper, that this party is doing this and that party is not doing anything for the people. Always opposition will have allegations on the ruling party, and ruling party will have allegations for the opposition party. And when this opposition party gets elected for the rule, they also do the same things. So this is just called party politics. They only care for themselves. They don't care for the persons. They don't care for the people of their constituency. Some people say that this pressure to win electoral fights does not allow sensible long-term policies to be formulated. Some good people who may wish to serve the country do not enter this arena. They do not like the idea of being dragged into unhealthy competition. Because let's take example of our own country. In our country, there are many leaders who are not even educated. They are not even 10th pass, but they are ruling us. And we see that the IAS competitions persons who has cleared the IAS exams, they are cleaning their shoes. We have seen so many videos of this. They carry umbrella for them. They carry their water. So what's the use of study? This is called party politics. It means that studies is nothing. It doesn't matter whether you are an IAS topper or you are an IAPS topper. You have to obey them. You have to salute them. These are some reasons why people don't want to get into this unhealthy competition. And our constitution makers were aware of these problems. And who were our constitution makers? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Yet they opted for free competition in elections as the way to select our future leaders. They did so because the system works better in the long run. In an ideal world, all political leaders know what is good for the people and are motivated only by a desire to serve them. Political competition is not necessary in such an ideal world, but that is not what happens in real life. When they have made these constitutions, they opted for free competitions because they thought that this is the best way to select the future leaders. And in this way, the system will work better in the long run. But nowadays, I don't think it's of any use. The reality is actually that the political leaders all over the world, they are like all other professionals and are motivated by a desire to advance their political careers. They want their career to get higher and higher. They want to remain in power, but just for the sake of themselves, not for the sake of the people. They may wish to serve the people as well, but it is not risky to depend entirely on their sense of duty. Because when they wish to serve the people, they may not know what is required to do so. or their ideas may not match what the people really want. Today, a person who is born and brought up in, suppose, South India, he gets the ticket from North India. Then how we think that that person will understand the problems of the North Indians? What problems they are facing? Because India is a very big country. These are some questions which we have to answer, which we have to think. How do we deal with this real life situation? One way is to try and improve the knowledge and character of political leaders. It's very important before casting our vote, just to know about that particular person whom we are going to vote. The other and more realistic way is to set up a system where political leaders are rewarded for serving the people and punished for not doing so. It's quite not possible actually, because so many parliament members who are having cases but still they are in the parliament. But actually we can do this. We should punish them for not fulfilling their promises, for not serving the people, and we can sideways reward also. Who decides this reward or punishment? Obviously we, the people. This is what electoral competition does. Regular electoral competitions provide incentives to political parties and leaders. They know that if they raise issues that people want to be raised, their popularity and chances of victory will increase in the next elections. There are some leaders who are very well aware of this fact, that if I will not fulfill the demand of the citizens, they are not going to vote me in the next election. So they try to raise those issues, in the parliament which we want to be raised. Let it be for whether it is for their popularity or their chances of victory in next elections. But if they fail to satisfy their voters, they know that they won't be able to win again, because we have the right to choose them again or not. And we choose them again if we are satisfied with them, with their work. So if a political party is motivated only by desire to be in power, even then it will be forced to serve the people. This line clearly means that if the ruling party wants to rule again, wants to be won again in the next elections, wants to continue to rule, that party has to fulfill the issues of the people. They have to serve the people. This is a bit like the way market works. For example, if a shopkeeper is interested only in getting profit, but still he has to serve the people with a big smile. He has to give the good service to the customers. If he is failed to do so, the customer will go to other shop, and this will be his loss. And similarly, political competitions may cause divisions and some ugliness, but it finally helps to force political parties and leaders to serve the people. Because each party wants to get the majority in make a government, and to get that majority, that party has to satisfy the people, because we are the people who are supposed to cast our vote, and we have the right to elect our representatives, and these representatives will make the government. So these competitions are actually good. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe edupediaworld.com.